I still don't know what Yokio is. And I don't mean in a this show is crazy sort of way. I mean, I don't understand the ideas inside and behind this show.
Some things are too subtle, and some things are really, really wink.
Yeah.
It's totally all over the place.
So here's what I did. I went into Yokio with a panel of experts.
A pickle Rick.
And we watched the show in one sitting. Then we had a discussion about it. And that wasn't enough. It was bad, yeah, on every technical level. But I don't think I can really examine why. I think I need to delve a little deeper than we delved into this show, because it left me with unanswered questions. Questions like, what did any of this mean? Was this a parody of an anime, or was it trying to be an anime? What is this trying to say about classism? Is it trying to say something at all? I could just say that the fact that all of this was unclear is a massive flaw in the show and leave it at that. But, I mean, I gotta know. Yokio first came to my attention when, like a lot of people, I saw the trailer for it. My first thought was, wow, this looks like trash. I don't want to watch it. It starred Jaden Smith, who was shown off in the trailer as doing a terrible job, plus a bunch of other actors who were handed huge bags of cash. But at the time, I just thought it was some terrible, dumb anime that someone made the mistake of casting Jaden as the lead. But then I looked it up, and I found out it was made right here in the USA. A lot of people talk about Yokio like it was the brainchild of Jaden Smith. It's not. I wouldn't be surprised if there was some of his influence in here, but it's not his baby. The womb that birthed this horrible abomination was Ezra Koenig. You may know him as the lead singer for Vampire Weekend. Yeah, me too. That's exactly how I felt. In fact, that's what put me on board with watching this show. Because my first thought was, excuse me? So Yokio is interesting. It had a trailer where Jaden Smith sounded bored.
She's possessed? That sucks.
It had the funniest sound effect for a racket breaking I've ever heard. And it looked like a mishmash of 17 different animes. It seemed to be a perfect storm for bad on first glance. But first glances can be misleading. They're really not in this case, but might as well make sure.
What? Why the fuck is this every anime ever made? Why is it a mecha anime too?
Why is he feeling up close?
This is where I got the panel of experts involved. And really it's best to break this show up into 3 parts, so let's start with part 1. Kaz Khan, Jaden Smith's character, is a descendant of a group of exorcists who fight demons and keep the city of Yokio safe. These first episodes focus on him fighting demons a little bit.
Yes, the fucking demon! God damn it! Oh my fucking god!
But mostly his life as a prominent bachelor in Yokio high society, something that is so important in this town that there is literally a billboard ranking bachelors. Part 1 was fun to make jokes about.
Nice 2 frames of animation there.
We had fun making fun of the show and how silly and bad it was.
I wasn't aware you listened to popular music.
I listen to Death
I'm a
Grips.
career artist, and I'm a lad with my pen and my pad.
But that's all we got out of it. It really wasn't even especially bad. But we just started. This was only our first hour.
The outside world is a marketplace of illusion. I'm over it.
Look, I was depressed after the ball too. I didn't want to leave my room either, but it gets better. Trust me.
I'm not depressed
That
about that
was
stupid
suffering.
ball.
Part 2 was a struggle. We had been through an hour and it was just more of the same. The jokes we made had already been made, so there wasn't much else we could say. The show didn't go into a downward spiral of surprises that made us laugh, and we were just bored.
Honestly, like,
Helena, I hope you reconsider.
this show has got, maybe it's just this
not
episode,
for
but this
me,
show got really
for
boring.
Yeah, this
The honeymoon is over.
Maybe they go into it more in the next seasons, but everything about demon fighting went out the window after the 3rd episode. And then came the 4th episode.
Yeah, also, I'd like to point out that scene where he looked at the fucking melancholic music of the past was like the
Uncle
best scene in
Albert.
the entire show, because he shut up for 3 seconds.
Which is the worst in the series. It was slow, dull, and a pain to watch. And that's it. That's all I need to say about that.
Holy
Oh my
fuck,
god,
I
it
called
actually
it.
happened!
Holy
It actually
shit!
happened!
What?
We were talking about, like, did 9/11 happen in this universe? I was like, nah, it was just fucking, like, attack the Bachelor board or some shit.
It
The
happened.
real answer was not yet.
Yeah, apparently.
We just watched the 9/11 video.
Any of
Holy
us.
shit.
Now arriving at the World Trade Center.
Oh
Oh
no!
my god!
Oh no! Oh my god!
The final 2 episodes are about a race. This is the first time there's ever any tension, or any sort of feeling in the show. Where the rest of the show is very dull, here the show is able to succeed in the basic feat of giving the audience something to care about. Well, the truth is that was only the last episode. The last episode was successfully able to do what a normal episode of a good show could do.
I mean, that was a good, ending. They had one singular good ending to an episode. And this was
Like, that was a great switcheroo.
Well, you know, yeah, here's the thing. Like, this would be a good ending to, like, a singular episode, but this is the season finale.
And that was it. That was all the Neo Yokio we have.
This anime is so bad that it loops around into being the best and only anime that has ever been released in 2017. Toblerone is the best waifu in
It's
the
true.
story. Not a lot of people died, but no one fucking died in this series except for those 3 random chicks that maybe disappeared and maybe died.
Yeah, maybe
Quote
they're-
unquote
those,
disappeared.
yeah, those. I thought that was gonna like go somewhere. I thought they're like at the end they're
They
gonna
were gonna
come
like
back.
show up randomly.
Yeah,
or
or like they're gonna be working for like the Demon Prince or some bullshit like that. But it just, they just maybe it's the second season. They're building something up for that. Fucking.
something. Second season.
I don't know. I
It's
feel
gonna
like,
happen. There's no way it's not gonna
yeah,
happen.
I feel like Netflix is like already signed them on for like another season. This thing is like it's like fucking Laika, but for the forces of evil. It's being fucking bankrolled by Ezra Cohen and goddamn Jaden Smith. So they
There's no
have
way.
the money. He has no charisma. Jaden Smith really doesn't. Like, it's weird because his fucking father and mother also are like bastions of charisma. They're exhuming it from every pore. This kid ain't got nothing, like, fuck.
That's sad, kind of, to be like
run in the family.
kid.
To be
it
the
doesn't run in the
kid
family
of
for him.
Will fucking Smith and have no charisma.
Yeah, that would really suck. Jaden Smith's character, Khan, he's not an unlikable character, I would say.
Yeah. I mean, he's fine.
kinda-
Like, he really isn't, like, an unlikable character,
kinda-
yeah.
He's not
It's kind of a Mary Sue.
Oh, yeah,
he's not like the
absolutely.
most.
There's nothing like negative about him, and it just makes him feel buoyant.
Yeah. He's very uninteresting. He's not bad. He's not like a hateable character. He's just sort of is there to be like the focal point of like this series and have things happen around him, and that's like his entire purpose.
And I think that's okay. It is the first season. We got to remember that.
He's like,
And I don't really know how good of a demon hunter Khan is.
Because
Oh,
there's
It
no
looks like
reference.
he's- there's no reference. Like, there's no other demon hunters doing better. There's no other demon hunters doing worse. There's no like fake demon hunter going around like in Bleach.
Yeah.
There was like a fake demon hunter, like a TV personality.
Yeah.
And he had some sort of power, but not a whole lot. Like, he was still
Yeah, it was really
just like
weak.
Oh, and that's one of the things.
There's like no other guy like him.
Yeah, and that's one of the things. Like there was this point in time where that dude was like, fucking, you can. Is there a possibility that you exercised the demon wrongly? And it's like we're here like, we don't fucking know as the audience. He could have.
Yeah, we don't know if he like flubbed some part
Yeah.
of the demon process. There's no like we haven't seen him fail. We haven't seen him.
Yeah, we
we've
haven't
seen
Literally
him.
the first time.
Yeah.
And
That
he
was the
figured it
very
out.
first time you've seen him do anything demon related.
Yeah, and
And the
it's like,
second time, I guess he handled it pretty well. Like
Yeah.
he chopped the demon in half, and
But yeah,
was
no,
fine. He
we're
did it, like, almost
supposed to
effortlessly.
feel like, you know, this man like didn't fuck up because he's like really good at this, and that was like the intention. But like I was honestly thinking, you know, he could have. Where it's like, I mean, I just feel like there's so many ideas that are so all over the place. I don't know if they're going to be able to like, I don't know if this is ever going to be at a point where I'm not just sitting here like, what the fuck?
oh yeah, totally.
Yeah.
It's gonna be mediocre still,
Yeah.
but it's gonna go from mediocre to kind of good. It's not gonna go from mediocre to dog shit. It's not gonna go mediocre to bad.
Well, here's what I'm afraid of, and here's what I'm afraid that like they are going, like it's going to go like from like mediocre to, oh god, is if they do the thing where it's like, okay, this is just like entirely a fucking like anti 1% show, and that's like all it is now. And
Oh
then-
yeah, it has that potential to Flanderize.
yeah, and I'm afraid of that happening with this show.
We've got it like right now. This whole 6-episode season,
Yeah.
it was and then it was and then it got kind of, I wouldn't say the best. Like it didn't just shoot up in quality all
It
of a sudden.
had a plot, like in the last.
That's right.
Like, it had in like the last couple of minutes of the last episode when they were like trying to hide her and stuff. It's like, okay, plot's here now. There's a little bit of tension. Something's going on.
Then your villain vapes.
Yeah, and the
Yeah.
villain vapes.
Like it started to come into its own right there,
Yeah.
like in that episode.
So I asked a couple of questions in the beginning of the video, a lot pertaining to what this show meant, and after doing a bit of research it has come to my attention that this show is entirely vapid. It isn't even pretentious. The deeper meaning in the show is non-existent. There is nothing. This is the worst case scenario, but it's one that I didn't think would be the truth, because there seems to be multiple lines, the title of an episode, and an entire character who is integral to the plot that contradict this. But that is why the message seemed so confused, because there wasn't one. The first interviews I'd read about this show, Jaden and Ezra both seemed to talk about how much fun they had making it and how much closer it got them, but they didn't really talk about any ideas behind the show or meaning in the show or how the plot might have related to anything. Truth is, I was getting these interviews from GQ Style and Fader, which aren't really publications known for their deep analysis of television shows, so it may have been just a bunch of bad questions. But at no point did they really try to talk about a possible deeper meaning. Ezra mostly talked about how animes like Tokyo Babylon inspired him and how he wanted it to be like those. And that's what was the deeper logic here. Ezra wanted to make an anime. That's it. That's all. He did mention that he wanted to make it a hybrid between a parody and an actual anime at the same time, so I don't think he put much thought into that either. The Verge confirmed this for me. They asked a Netflix executive if this was supposed to have a deeper meaning of Down with the Rich, but they answered the question by pointing to a production note by Ezra that said, "When I think about when I really would have liked this show, it's all different eras of my life. My tween years, my quarter-life crisis years. I think there are a lot of layers to what's happening, so viewers can appreciate it in different ways." In the other situation, I would have assumed that some of the other writers were trying to say something else, but Ezra Koenig is the sole writer for most of these episodes, so it's not that. And truth is, if this had been entirely about classism, I would have dragged it for having the depth of a freshman in high school who's trying to skirt around using the word fuck in an article he's writing for a school paper. But it isn't even that deep. It's just bad. It's bad at being an anime, and that's all it wanted to be.
The best way to describe it is that this is a giant dumpster fire. But someone put in some real dope-ass fucking fireworks before they lit it. So it was cool every once in a while, but I can still smell burning garbage in it.
Well, here's the thing.
It's a spectacular disaster.